Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge, coming in to do the Inner Alchemy for May the 14th, bringing us forward to the 20th. For those of you that are new to this channel or new to the concept of Inner Alchemy, we are taking a look at the blend of human design, the gene keys, and our Lightworker coaching background to really take a look at how we integrate our shadow aspects, our self-sabotages, our fears, and learn how to build a stronger inner confidence that we may then rise up and out into our higher potential. That is the concept of inner alchemy. You are the only one that can do your work. I am the only one that can do mine. But together we can use the planetary shiftings in our gate activations as tools to guide us along our pathway as we come into recognition of what is playing out in the consciousness in terms of a shadow energy, a dilemma energy, which is a challenge or an opportunity for you to learn and grow, and the gift aspect to call upon and to lean into as you are moving through your own transitions. So we are stepping into the second of 7 throat activations during this powerful time. So just to do a little bit of a recap for those who are new to this channel and for all of us, just to keep ourselves in the alignment of understanding how the energy builds upon itself in order to help us grow. We opened up the doorways at the beginning of May. I'm just looking at my calendar. May the 3rd, we stepped into what was known as the seat of the driver. This was pure feminine energy. What I mean by that is when you follow the book of the I Ching, which is known as the Book of Changes, it has 6 different lines for each one of these 64 gates. The 64 gates relate to your DNA, your codon strands within your body. And the lines are a combination of masculine and feminine. So on May the 3rd, when we stepped into the seat of the driver, the pure feminine, what happened is we were presented with 6 broken lines representing all 6 of the feminine aspects. The seat of the driver was the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. It is like our check-in point to really come into the body, to come into yourself, to bring it into alignment of what is for the highest good. So the energy at that time was all about feeling a sense of dislocation, a sensation of lost, separateness, wondering what your purpose was, and coming into a deeper inner conversation, inner knowing, inner questioning of where do I want to head and why do I want to head in that direction. So known as the seat of the self, the seat of the driver of self, we had an opportunity to align ourselves to walking a pathway to now enter into 7 throat activations, which are bringing us on a series of ascensions. So last week, we went from the seat of the driver into the first of the 7 throat chakra activations, which was all in the energy of assimilation. So assimilation was teaching us how we take energy into our body, how we process that energy, and how we then send it back out into the world. This is also in relation to our root chakra. So even though it's a gate activation in the throat, it was gate number 23 in your human design chart, it also stimulated the root activation. Because it is in a sign of Taurus, and because Taurus is an earth sign, it is all about how you feel connected, how you feel safe, how you feel secure. It's in the 2nd house, so it also talked about possessions. What are we acquiring? What are we accumulating around ourselves in our human journey? So when you're looking at how you assimilate energy, how you are bringing things into your life, we looked at the shadow of complexity. How we tend to make life so much harder than it needs to be. And we add complexity by overthinking things, by trying to figure out everything on our own, by looking out into the world to try to make sense of why people are behaving the way that they are. How am I going to fit into that world? But the truth is, it's a world of shadow energy. It's a world of illusions because it's created from our idea of what things should be. So the call back into the divine feminine, this energy right now that we're in, is leading us back into the body to really tune into the yin energy, the state of being. Masculine, the yang energy is becoming. It is action orientated. But right now we are in a pause. We are leaning into the self, leaning back into trusting the body wisdom, the deep cellular wisdom, how to focus on the throat center in terms of communication, examining that shadow of complexity, and then bringing in a gift aspect of simplicity. So we just came out of that energy. I hope you spend some beautiful time looking at ways to simplify your life, doing some decluttering, looking at where you could cut the energetic cords of things where you made it more difficult upon yourself. And perhaps you had taken something on that you believed to have been your responsibility, then to reach the clarity of, you know what, that's not mine to bear. I am not that powerful. I'm not responsible for somebody else's health and well-being. So we're being asked to really bring love to the forefront, to bring the body wisdom to the forefront, to respect one another as we are all learning to grow and evolve. And we're all doing it according to our own time schedules and our own learning plan. So the way of the divine feminine also knows how to be gentle. It is coming from a compassionate, nurturing, caring opportunity where we are taking full responsibility for our actions, our behaviors, and our emotions. But it's also building deeper connections. It is embracing the power of creativity to push that out into the world to support healthy families, healthy communities, healthy innovations, and to really look at substance. The world is lacking in substance, and the body feels this. So we're really in a period of time right now, this pause, this opportunity to travel through the 7 throat chakras that are also linking us back to the journey up the chakra system. And that is wholeness. That is a bridge, a ladder to a higher consciousness, an ascension process that we are all on. But the throat center comes with this pressure of, I want to be seen and I want to be heard. And it's one of the deepest longings in humanity to be seen. And it comes from the ancient wound of separation. We feel separated from the source of creation, and we're all trying to get back home. But we are in the illusion of searching into the external world for our pathway back instead of remembering to come home to you, to come back into the body that holds the deep cellular wisdom and knowledge and is your connection to all things. So this is a beautiful journey, and as we are stepping into the energy for May the 14th now into the 20th, we're entering now into through gate 8, the second of the 7 throat chakras. And this is known as the gate of contribution. This is now linking us also to our sacral energy. It is part of the channel of the creative role model. So think of your sacral energy, your creative energy, your divine feminine energy, your sexual energy, all of those things that are used to apply back out into the world. So for all of you who are also generators and manifesting generators, and we talk about the sacral energy, this is your life force energy. So if you don't know your human design, I highly encourage you to visit my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com. Check out the free Introduction to Human Design course. You can enroll in that, follow the links to get your birth chart, dive deeper into yourself. Because even though we're in the throat, we're in that gate number 8, contribution is linking you into the sacral center. So regardless of your energy type, you're going to want to know what your gate activations in your sacral center is, because it's also stimulating that creative energy within you for you to remember what it is that you are here to contribute out into the world. For other energy types who are non-sacral, so this is your manifestors, your projectors, your reflectors, including myself as a manifestor, we are amplifying that life force energy. So we are feeling the life force energy of the collective. We are feeling the quality of the contribution into the world. And it's also stimulating the activations within yourself to know your role to play in that. So you're really going to want to know your human design. You're going to want to know whether your sacral center is colored in, defined, or white, undefined. And you're going to want to know about those circled numbers within that sacral center. So if you want a personal reading on your journey, you can also visit my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com, and book a one-to-one session to really explore that for yourself if you're wanting extra support as we are climbing this ascension ladder. So let's dive into this gate of contribution, this part of the channel of the creative role model, and really take a look at the shadow energy in there. This is all about mediocrity. Mediocrity, and I want to call it the half-assed effort. Right? It's when you step into something and you just be like, oh, whatever, I'll just get it done. It really doesn't matter to me. So I'm just going to contribute the bare minimum to it. I'm not going to put any life to it. It's boring to me. It doesn't innovate me. It doesn't feel passionate to me. I really don't care. Right? And how many of us have jobs that are just mediocre? How many of us are in relationships that are lacking substance and they're mediocre? How many of us are just moving through the motions of life and it feels mediocre? It's like stepping into lukewarm water. And it's a state of numbing. And because it is numbing, it works in two ways. One, it feels comfortable. For whatever weird reason, because you know you're not happy, it feels comfortable because it is predictable. You are applying your energy to things that you know you can do, you can get by on, it is good enough, it'll get you to the end of the day will then be done, and tomorrow will start again. And it is such a repetitive pattern, keeping ourselves in that state of numbing, that you are depriving your gifts, your contribution, your uniqueness to offer and contribute something of sustainability and substance into the world. So even though we fall into the mediocrity and it feels like a comfort zone, the body hurts. And the body is longing for connection. It is longing for substance. It is longing for vitality. It is longing for purpose. And that is your connection to that sacral energy, to explore those gates in your sacral center, your creation. what you came here to give life to. The seed that you are, who is needing to be nourished and loved by yourself. And that is the starting point to using last week's energy of assimilation to take up the energy from the root center, from Mother Earth, to start building a foundation around your sacred seed, your potential, your offering into the world, so that you are coming from a place of knowing and trusting that we have each been planted and seeded where we are for a great divine purpose. So it's looping us all the way back to the beginning of May when we entered into the seat of the driver. And it was a call to get back into alignment with our true self, our true direction through gate number 2 in your human design chart. Then moving us into the root, activated in the throat through gate 23 of assimilation. Now moving us up into the sacral center through gate number 8, contribution. Looking at how things are mediocre around us, how we contribute to mediocrity, and looking now at the dilemma of imitation. Things are mediocre because we have been taught to imitate what we believe other people want from us. And that is the fear in this gate, a fear of what will somebody else think? How will I look in somebody else's eyes? So we start looking out into the world for celebrities, for people who are seen, people who are heard, people that have influence, and we want to be like them. So we stop looking at ourselves and our gifts and we go, if only I was taller, if only I had a different body structure, if only I had money, if only I had a certain social group, if only I had a partner, if only I had this car, if only I had this house. You came into this world with everything you needed to be successful. You came in your DNA structure with all the codes, all the programs, all the gifts, the only fingerprint in the world that makes you you. So why are we so conditioned to look out and try to imitate somebody else's path, somebody else's destiny, somebody else's way of contributing to the world? That is also the basis of competitive energy. And it destroys us, it distracts us, it keeps us fighting, it keeps us in fear, it keeps us feeling insecure, insignificant, undervalued. So why do we feed it? Why do we self-sabotage ourselves by falling into that imitation light, by putting on the mask and pretending to be somebody who we're not? Because we're afraid. We're afraid of judgment. We're afraid that we are going to be forgotten. We are afraid that we're no longer going to have a voice. We're afraid that we're not going to be seen. And we have to face that fear. So we're using this energy during this time of contribution, the creative role model, to really examine and be honest with yourself. Let your body talk to you. Sit in the pause to stay with you, to examine, where does the shadow of mediocrity come up for me? Where does the fears of looking good in someone else's eyes or belonging fit into me? Where am I imitating somebody else or wanting to be like somebody else? Where am I allowing the influence of the external world to determine my own worth? And these are honest conversations. Now, there's a gift in here. So this is the secret. You get to talk to your shadow. You let those hurt pieces of yourself have a voice again. You let the inner child of you that has been suppressed and shut down and bullied and mimicked and mocked and shamed and blamed and guilted, you let it have a voice. But you step in as the parent, as the loving nurturer for yourself, the savior to your existence, because you are nurturing you. And you're holding that sacred seed of you, your divinity, your light that has been overshadowed. And you're helping to draw your light out of the shadows, because the light is pure. At the core of your seed, there is purity. We cover it over and shadow it by closing off our hearts because life has hurt. And we're being asked to trust that even though it hurts, you have to dare to be vulnerable. You have to dare to open up to love. You have to dare to look at the wounding. You have to dare to let it be what it is and be honest with yourself. And that is a sacred journey, which is why this is an individual journey that arises within you. And nobody else gets to determine that for you, but you have to ensure that your foundation of love and support is in place. And that means that you are communicating to yourself with a healthy mind. You're taking beautiful care of the body, the food you eat, what you drink, how you treat it, your level of love that you're giving to yourself. You're being respectful of the environment around you, your relationships, what you're listening to, what you are accumulating, what we are seeing with our eyes. We are all responsible for that journey. So we take this opportunity, this ascension, to now look at the opportunity for contribution and apply the gift of style. The gift of style reminds us that you are the only one with your fingerprint. You are the only one who has your genetic imprinting, your codes to blossom the flower of you into what it is here to be, to bloom where you are planted. True style, in the words of Richard Rudd, the founder of the Gene Keys, has no identity because it is the act of non-attachment. It doesn't care what anybody else thinks. It's not worried about somebody else's approval. It doesn't need permission to be who it is because it already is that state. And that is us. We have to learn to respect ourselves to such a high degree to remember our sacred divinity and to love and support each other in remembering that sacredness within themselves as well. So this is really about staying in your lane. Do your own work. Learn to train your eyes so that you're not judging others. You're not comparing yourself to others. You're not wondering why you're not further ahead. Every seed grows when it is nourished to the point that it feels safe enough to open. And you can't force that. So that is the journey of inner alchemy, where we are learning to be the parent to those aspects of ourselves that were damaged, that were wounded, that were conditioned, that were in environments that were not suitable for its growth. And this is also carrying the ancestral DNA. So this isn't about blaming your caregivers or your parents, because were they not also seeds? Did they not also require the foundation to support their own growth? So we learn through the gift of love how to be more compassionate to humanity by looking at the world as a world of illusions and shadows, because individuals are lost. They are lost because they have forgotten their divinity. So many of us have been called forward now during this time of increased light, increased vitality, the way of the divine feminine, to be the caregivers, the nurturers, the beacons of light and the hope and the voices to remember who you are. It is a journey of walking the talk, because you cannot do this for anybody else. You cannot save anybody else. You cannot prevent somebody else's life from unfolding. You cannot interfere with somebody's ability to self-acknowledge and self-empower and awaken what is theirs to awaken. And that is what we call Lightworker coaching. Coaching is not about giving someone else advice and telling them what to do. It's about a journey of the other person hearing themselves, feeling themselves, parenting themselves, guiding themselves, celebrating themselves, empowering themselves. So we're all here to do that journey. And we're in such a beautiful time right now, leading us all the way to the summer solstice, where we're literally climbing a ladder through the 7 activations in the throat center. That is also looping us back in to the chakra system. So it's the understanding of the relationship that, our chakras are not separate from each other. It is just laid out that way so we can see it. Kind of like the timeline, right? But the only thing that exists is the present moment. All of those chakras are one energy source. It is all one, but there's layers upon layers upon layers. What affects one affects the whole. So we're using this opportunity in the throat activations, which also symbolize all 12 of our astrological planets, all 12 of our astrological houses. We're going around the complete circle of self so that you can examine and you can unlock your gift aspects by first noticing the shadows, moving through the dilemmas, and claiming and calling in that gift. So this is a journey of self-empowerment. It's a journey of deep, deep listening, deep contemplation, slowing down, journaling, being honest with the way you feel, your emotions, your body wisdom, and really having those conversations with younger, underdeveloped aspects of yourself that so want to have a voice. But anybody who has parented a child or has had a younger version of themselves that is rising, and you may notice in yourself a lot of throat clearing, or your voice being stuck, or your ears ringing, this is all part of that ascension process. So when that comes up, that's your indicator. There's something in there that wants you to sit with it. And it requires love. So be very gentle on yourself. Create a lot of space in your day to just be with you. Don't fall into last week's shadow energy of complexity where you're so busy that you don't have time to feel, to sit, to contemplate. We have to keep that simplicity going. You have to keep the orientation going. Now you are leaning into your style, your true self, your true contribution to the world, your creative energy, your sacredness. So have some fun during this time. Use it as a powerful time of reflection, inner clarity, love. Yes, you're probably going to go through a lot of tears because tears are healing. Tears are shedding. But you don't want to be in the mindset of berating yourself. You don't want to feed the shadow. You have hurt enough. Use this as a time of spiritual cleansing. Call in your guides, call in your angels, call in Archangel Michael to cut the cords. Ask for yourself to be cloaked, to be protected, to be nurtured. We're not here to journey alone. We have a divine higher self, a council, a team that surrounds us. You can see in the beautiful painting behind me, the symbol of the rose that we all have. And it is held in divine hands, and it is connecting all in the circle. So don't take the weight of the world on your shoulders. We are much too tiny to bear that. Take responsibility for your actions, your thoughts, be honest with your emotions, and lovingly hand back all those things that are not of your responsibility, so that you can contribute to the world the purity of your gift, your love, your patience, your true divinity. So I send you all much love and much encouragement as you walk this path, this ascension that we are in. If you need some guidance, I have many opportunities for consulting services. Check out the website, lovingenergyrecharge.com. Reach out. Let's look at your chart. Let's look at how to support you. Let us walk side by side in love as we navigate through this energy. Namaste to you all. Take care.